The St. Louis City Police Department is opening a new chapter in its history. The department's headquarters is moving for the first time in 85 years. Police officials say the move from its current headquarters at 1200 Clark is long overdue and describe the historic moment as simply a big deal. Indeed, it is. So, of course, there is reason to celebrate. First, there's a march to the new headquarters at 1915 Olive Street. Then a tour for area citizens anxious to see what the 9-story, 140,000-foot structure looks like inside. The building, once home to offices of A.G. Edwards, cost nearly $3 million, bought with funds police seized in criminal activity. And finally, a ribbon-cutting ceremony. Mayor Francis Slay, Chief Sam Dotson, and State Senator Jamila Nasheed were included in the celebration, among others. They offered glowing words to describe the positive impact the new police headquarters will have on St. Louis City and its citizens for many years to come.
Thank you for being here.
Welcome to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department's ribbon-cutting ceremony for their new police headquarters here at 1915 Olive. I'm Mike Bush from KSDK News Channel 5, and this is a big deal. We are here witnessing an historic moment. Today is about reinventing history, and I thank you all for joining us to celebrate. It's now my pleasure to introduce you to our platform guests for today, and I'll ask that you hold your applause until I finish the introductions. With us today, we have Police Chief Sam Dotson, Doug Albrecht, the President of the St. Louis Police Foundation, Richard Gray, Public Safety Director for the City of St. Louis, State Senator Jamila Nasheed, Mayor Francis Slay, Richard Bradley, President of the Board of Public Service, and Reverend Rodney T. Francis. Please give them a round of applause. Now I'd like to invite Reverend Rodney T. Francis to the podium to deliver an invocation.
Let us pray. O gracious God, we thank you for the beauty of this day and for the divine presence as we gather to dedicate this newly renovated building that will serve as the headquarters to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. We thank you for the leadership of Chief Dotson, those who serve alongside him in the capacity of captains and lieutenants and sergeants and all of the officers and the administrative staff who will call this place home. We also give thanks to all the persons who have worked very hard to complete this project for our police force and our city. Our prayer is that you will continue to lead and bless all who work in this magnificent facility to continue to live into their duty to protect and serve the community. We also pray that the newness of this facility will foster a renewed sense of dedication as we declare upon them sentiments drawn from the police officer's prayer to St. Michael, that you would, O God, give them cool heads, stout hearts, an uncanny flair for investigation and wise judgment. Make them the terror of those who seek to do violence in our community, the friend of children, and comfort to law-abiding citizens, kind to strangers, polite to the homeless, firm with lawbreakers, and impervious to temptations. We thank you for their call, for their duty, for their service, and we're proud to present to them a new facility in which to serve us. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Francis. Now this morning, you may have noticed officers, civilian employees, and their friends and family gathering at the old police headquarters at 1200 Clark. All of them have spent their entire careers reporting to that police headquarters, showing up each day to provide service in some shape or form to the citizens of St. Louis and working tirelessly to keep our city safe. As they gathered today, the flag, which had flown over police headquarters, was lowered from 1200 Clark and proudly marched through the streets of downtown St. Louis to its new home here at 1915 Olive. Now, in an historic moment, that flag will be raised upon new police headquarters for the first time. So please stand for the raising of the flag and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department Choir.
Present arms.
Oh, say, can you see? 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 By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please remain standing for the raising of the Metropolitan Police Department flag. What we just witnessed represents a rich history. not only for the department, but for the entire city of St. Louis. History that dates back to 1927. 87 years ago, when the police department's headquarters building was erected at 1200 Clark, that building is now an historic landmark. But in 2009, the Board of Police Commissioners and the police department had concerns about the condition of the building. After an engineering firm assessed the necessary upgrades and repairs, the cost to repair the aging building was estimated at more than $70 million. So the police department was committed to making the best financial decision while keeping the safety of its employees a top priority. After much thoughtful consideration, the Board of Police Commissioners and the police department decided it was in the best interest of both the employees and the citizens of St. Louis to purchase this new police headquarters. The journey has led the police department from 1200 Clark Avenue to this new headquarters at 1915 Olive, where we stand today. In many ways, it's a bittersweet moment. But I'll now ask Police Chief Sam Dotson to come to the podium to say a few words.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here to mark this historic occasion, which, as Mike said, was so perfectly symbolized by the march that we just took together, walking from one phase of our history into the next. Today is a moment of historic change for the police department, and it comes among many other changes. As I gathered my thoughts for this event, I started to think about what had happened in just the past 18 months. Earlier this year, we completed a citywide reorganization of the department where we redrew the police map for the first time in 50 years. That project, the switch from 9 police districts to 6, was truly a massive undertaking. We took a leap forward, we faced the risk, and we finished the job. Why did we do that? Why did we shoulder the burden of redistricting when it would have been easy to stand still and do not disturb the status quo? Why didn't we just do as things have been done before? Leave it for another generation. We did it because we understand something very big and very important. We understand that it costs more to live in the past than it does to invest in our future. And the district boundaries aren't the only lines we've been crossing lately. Another key change in recent days is a growing collaboration between city and county police. You can see this in the merger of some of our specialized units, our joint training exercises, and in the shared vision when it comes to fairness for regional crime statistics. In a variety of big and small ways, we've been working together more closely with St. Louis County than ever, and I want to thank the County Chief, John Belmer, for joining us here today. Thank you, John. And again, you may ask, why did we take the risk of crossing political lines? Why didn't we do just the usual thing? And I'll tell you again, because it costs more to live in the past than it does to invest in our future. So let's talk a moment about why we're here. The police headquarters at 1200 Clark has stood for almost a century. Even St. Louisans who never had a reason to visit the building probably know it as a familiar backdrop to television live shots. 1200 Clark was a setting for countless stories, and where thousands of police officers, including myself, began their careers. A few years ago, we had an evaluation done of our building, our almost 100-year-old home, and the result was grim. $70 million to repair, $20 million just in life safety issues. And as we started to consider the options, with the support and assistance of our friends, we learned it would be possible to acquire and outfit a new, modern office headquarters for much, much less. And in other words, we learned that it literally costs more for us to live in the past than it would for us to invest in our future. So the right thing was clear, and that's what we did. We did the right thing for our police department, we did the right thing for taxpayers, and we did the right thing for our city. I'm proud of the fact that we did it with roughly half of our funding coming from a bond issue, with the other half divided from support of our police foundation and asset forfeiture money. And by the way, in case you don't know, asset forfeiture money means money that we seized from criminal enterprises. So in this case, crime really did pay for the Metropolitan Police Department. This is an emotional moment for everyone, who's worked and loved in the old building. But the more we think about it, the more we know the department's true home is not tied to any particular place. It's wherever we are. The police department is not a physical object. It's the sum of the people who serve it and the people it serves. The police department is not a place. It's a spirit of public service and follows us wherever we go. Because the police department is a family, 1915 Olive is simply just our new home. A home we're very lucky to have, by the way. For those making the switch, the improvement in working conditions will be immediate. In almost all cases we can think of, the building is cleaner, newer, safer, and just plain better. The more modern space will promote more modern workflow and a more modern organizational culture. And we even have room to grow. Part of a floor has been set aside for the future home of law enforcement's real-time intelligence center, a place where we can take live data, live video, and actually police the city in a better way. But none of this is a product of luck. All of it traces back to the hard work of good people, the Police Foundation, whose generosity is always impressive. Thank you, Doug Albrecht and the board of the foundation. The city leaders who supported this, Mayor Slay, thank you for your support, Rich Bradley. And a special thanks to our state senator, Jamila Nasheed, who was the voice of local control in Jefferson City, and because of her support in challenging our cause, we were able to do this. Thank you, Senator. They all did that. They all did what they did for the right reasons, because they care about St. Louis, and they care about their police department, and they care about keeping it safe. And most of all, they understood that it costs more for us to live in the past than it did to invest in the future. Thank you very much for being here today with us.
Thanks, Chief. And now we want to ask Mr. Doug Albrecht, the president of the St. Louis Police Foundation, to step to the podium and say a few words.
I'll be brief. On behalf of the board of directors and the donors of the St. Louis Police Foundation, we are very pleased to take a part in this building. It's a terrific day. Some days are better than others. This is a great day. But this is just another way of the St. Louis Police Foundation saying thank you to the men and women of the St. Louis Police Department for keeping us safe and the service that you provide. So thank you very much and welcome to your new building.
And now I'd like to reintroduce Mr. Richard Gray, the Public Safety Director.
You know, this is a special day, and it's very exciting to be here today. You know, there's been a lot of roadblocks along the way to get to this point, but I applaud the efforts of Chief Dotson for making sure that we got not only the best quality building that we could possibly get at the most affordable price, but we crossed all of our T's and dotted all of our I's. It's real important that when you move through a project like this, that everything is covered the right way. But this is all about celebrating and being dedicated to the service of our officers, the courage, the bravery, and the sacrifice that our men and women make each and every day. We're excited about being here today. This is something special, and again, like my former boss, Doug Albrecht, I'm going to keep it very short, and thank you very much for being here today.
Mr. Gray, thank you very much. And now I'd like to ask Senator Jamila Nasheed, who was instrumental in this coming forth, to come to the podium and say a few words.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Today is a memorable day that will be ingrained in my memory for years to come. You see, when I picked up the baton in 2009 to bring local control back here to the city of St. Louis, I had no clue that a new police station would come along with it. I would like to thank all of the donors that made this day a reality. And I would also like to thank former Chief Isom, and now Colonel Dotson, for all of their hard work, their diligence and commitment to this department. Let's give them a round of applause. The law enforcement officers that protect and serve this community each and every day deserve to have a high quality facility that will make their work a little bit easier in the office. So to the men and women in the blue shirts, welcome to your home. Welcome to your second home as well as your new home. Thank you all for coming out. And I would like to thank each and every one of you citizens for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here today. Thank you very much.
And now we'd like to welcome the Mayor of St. Louis, Francis Slay.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be here and be part of another milestone in the history of the City of St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. I'm very proud of this department and always have been, and very proud of the men and women who make it great. Nearly a year ago, we celebrated the return of the police department to the City of St. Louis after more than 150 years of state control. That ceremony was held at the department's historic headquarters at 1200 Clark. Today, for the first time in 85 years, we dedicate a new home for the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. For generations, police headquarters in St. Louis has functioned as more than a staging ground and a communication center for police operations. Police headquarters has served as a kind of a town square, a familiar and comforting symbol of our community's ideals. A place where the people of St. Louis struggle to solve some of our toughest problems, a place where we turn in times of crisis. When police headquarters at 1200 Clark Street was dedicated on January 11th of 1929, the police department's motto was, "Efficient police make a city of peace." That sentiment still holds. Today, the St. Louis dedicates a new headquarters, a place for peacemakers, a place dedicated to the mission of service, integrity, leadership, and fair treatment for all. Chief Dodson, congratulations and thank you to you and your staff, particularly Paul Sharkey and Lieutenant John Carnegie. I also want to thank and congratulate Supply Commissioner Carol Shepard, Public Safety Director Richard Gray, Board of Public Service Director Richard Bradley and their teams, and of course Doug Albrecht and the entire Police Foundation for your hard work, your generosity, and your commitment to this department and to the City of St. Louis. To the thousands of men and women who over the decades have trained and served as commanders, as officers, as civilian employees in the old police headquarters at 1200 Market Street, to you and your families, I say thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for all you do to help make our city safer and to protect our families and our neighborhoods. To those of you who are starting today, beginning a new era in the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department in this beautiful building at 1915 Olive Street, I say, may God bless you and keep you safe and help us become a city of peace. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Now to the highlight of the ceremony. Today's platform guests will cut the ribbon. Of course, instead of a ribbon, our guests will be cutting some crime scene tape to officially open the new home of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. We also want to invite to the podium Reverend Rodney T. Francis to give the benediction and close our ceremony. All of you and your families are invited to a self-guided tour of the new police headquarters. Police recruits and police explorers are stationed throughout the building to assist you. Thank you for being here today and witnessing this historic moment. Let's cut the tape.